listening audience, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 frames per second. My name is Whirl, I am one of your players for the day, and I am joined by the wonderful, fantastic, amazing, talented, wonderful voiced, amazingly funny, awesome person that is...
Oh, you're making me blush. Hi everyone, I'm V Wild. Oh, and I will be playing Detective Lin Stagehand, the monkey that is now fully a monkey. Hooray!
Yay! Full monkey.
And we've got the fun part of exactly how is everything going down, because most of y'all don't fully know the situation.
Yeah, no, that hasn't been released to the public yet. So that's a fun detail. We're hoping it will get revealed to the public soon, but RJ needs to take his time on the editing.
And until then, we have our surprises and our secrets, and y'all are gonna have some fun.
Yes.
And I shall post a picture of what Lin looks like, because Lin isn't wearing her usual outfit when she's in this FPS.
Yay!
She's trying out new outfits. She's still got her skull brooch, because that is never ever coming off ever. It is her favourite possession.
Aw, bless.
But she's trying out different detective outfits. They comfy. She has shoes.
She looks so cozy.
She is very cozy. And speaking of cozy detectives, yeah, Lynn's kind of wondering about something that she's been doing before. Namely, there's someone she was on a case with, or helped solve a case for and with. It's a little confusing on that front.
It was kind of a situation.
Yes. And tell me, what was the last thing that, Lynn was told by this person?
Yeah, the last thing this person said before leaving, because everybody had gone to a cafe after the whole hoopla and hootenanny, and the last thing this person said was, I do believe that I am going to go find a hotel, check in, and stop existing for a few days.
Which, after Lynn had gone back to her place, stared up at the ceiling for something that happened in court, which, yes, she doesn't regret it. She does kind of regret it. It's going to be on the transcript forever. It sure was something. She swore in front of someone she respected, holy peck. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, once she finally calmed down on that front, she did actually cotton on her. Wait, this person doesn't know where there's a hotel. Wait, holy peck! And yeah. It was a little while afterwards. We'll give it a day or so of Lynn staring up at the ceiling. And Network nudging her periodically. Her son nudging her periodically. Yeah, Lynn's gonna go and investigate and find out where the peck this hotel is.
Yeah. That certainly is a thing that happened. Shit, I actually have to ask RJ what the name of the hotel is.
Do you honestly think Lynn cares about what the name of the hotel is? She's just gonna burst into every place she can think of.
Oh boy.
Oh, she'd probably go to the Halloween Town ones as well first. Just like...
Yeah, I think that it is a hotel in Halloween Town. At least I'm pretty sure. I just don't know the name of it, so I just had to go yell at RJ. RJ, help! Name of hotel! What? What is? Help!
I apologise to Jacques and Asclepius, so they're probably going to get someone at least going, hey, there was a random monkey just going around everywhere.
There was a random monkey just busting into different places.
Yes. I'm gonna roll an investigation and see how many attempts it takes for her to find this place.
Bless.
Okay.
9.
It takes her a while.
There's not even... I don't think there's even 9 hotels in Halloween Town. How do you go to that many places, Lynn?
She doesn't know.
Lynn, I love you.
She probably probably goes to the cafe first. Bursts in, goes, wait, no, pick it, they're not here. Hi.
Stop for lunch.
Turns on her heel, walks back out.
Walks in, realizes no one's here, walks right back out.
Yeah. Just, hey kid, bye kid.
Yep. But after some probably very amusing shenanigans, Lin manages to find the Midnight Manor Hotel. And upon asking, probably something along the lines of, have you seen this person?
Lin will have drawn because she does like the kid. The sketch, they have got a sketch on the wall of love already. And yes, she will be slapping one down, just very tiny monkey, very tall desk, just, have you seen this child?
Yeah, and yes, this person is in fact here, in room, I'm just going to make up a number, 342.
Heckin' fantastic, thank you. And the slightly frazzled monkey just partially hops off the desk. She hadn't jumped on the desk, but probably her arms were sticking over the edge.
Oh no.
She might have been dangling.
Oh,
just a smidge. And so she just wanders off, tries to find this room. She probably finds this room. Do we want to torment the monkey again?
Let's not torment the poor monkey. She's had enough. You find your way to, floor 3, room 42.
Hooray! And she goes, well, what do you normally do in this situation? Oh, I know what you normally do. There's 2 things you do. All right. She's got one thing, and then she just does what you always do. You knock on the door.
Be right there. There's Lin, roll perception.
Will do. Now, what is your perception then? Now, is that your... Yes, it is. Been nice. Okay, that's a 10.
She's frazzled. Luckily this isn't, hard to hear. From inside, there's kind of, a thwomp. And, very much the sound of, fabric being moved. And shish, 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 as somebody is walking across the floor dragging a big something behind them.
Aww. Okay, she's already starting to melt, because in her brain she's going, yes, someone built a pillow fort.
And then the door opens just a crack. And the person you were looking for, Miss Lethologica Beckford, peeks out, and she's got a big old blanket wrapped around her shoulders, and she, blinks in surprise when she sees you, and she's like, oh, detective, good to see you. How can I help you?
Hey, Lethy. I was... And you can actually see she's got a very soft look on her face. Her fur is settling down. She goes, I was just coming in to check on you. And she holds up something in her hand. She has a plate of biscuits.
Oh, bless. And Lethy kind of smiles and says, oh, that's very nice of you. Here, why don't you come in? And she, closes the door for a sec to undo the sort of, chain latch that's on the door, and then opens it up, backs up. She is, completely swamped in giant quilt that she stole from the bed.
Aww.
And Lin, you might notice something. Lethy is a fuck-ton shorter than she was at the hotel, or not the hotel, at the courtroom.
Yes. Okay, that gets a double blink, and you kind of, Lethy, Lin doesn't hide this. She looks at where your height was before, and then looks down at where your head is now, and then looks up, and then goes, okay,
She's a full foot shorter.
Lin does give that, is your, you still in the adjusting period, kiddo?
Oh, no, I just took my shoes off.
I'm sorry, your shoes are how peckin' tall?
And Lethy points to her boots, which are sitting very neatly next to the door. And she's like, I don't know exactly how it works, but if I put them on, I am suddenly a whole foot taller. It's kind of ridiculous.
Lynn is staring at those very intently. There is the minor thought in her head of trying them on, but she is a lot shorter and probably hasn't got the right feet for it. But by pecking odds, she wants to be tall.
You can try them on if you like.
Would they even fit me?
I have no idea. They might wind up being thigh highs on you.
You know what? Lynn has a shenanigan sense nowadays. She's gonna try them on.
Oh goodness. Presumably she puts the plate down on like a nearby table, because there's probably a coffee table in the hotel room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She just like delicately puts the plate down, gives a nod of respect to Letty, and then just goes shenanigan mode. You can see her tail just like going in curiosity as she's just like, yeah. This monkey's finally getting a silly time.
Yeah, you can try on the shoes.
I don't even know if you'd roll anything for that. She just sits on the floor and just like full on just pops these on and then tries to stand up. And oh yeah, actually that would probably be something we needed to roll for.
Roll dexterity.
I'm gonna roll straight dex. We'll see. Okay.
Well, you don't faceplant, so that's good. Congratulations, detective. You are now a full foot taller than you used to be.
Okay, Letty, you see a look of delight on Lynn's face, and she goes, I am now the size of the tallest stagehand I know.
I assume that's a good thing?
This is picking fantastic! I'm tall! I mean, I'm not tall. I mean, I'm probably shorter than most of my normal associates nowadays. Do you think we could get Asclepius to wear these?
Oh, goodness. I think that might be... The poor man would probably hit his head on the door frames.
Fair point.
We try to avoid unwarranted head trauma. And she kind of, like, reaches up and puts a hand to the side of her head and just kind of laughs a little awkwardly.
Oh, yeah. Lynn's clocked that. I'm just like, yeah. But, how are you doing, kiddo? I mean, hang on, I'm just gonna... And Lynn does just kind of very semi-awkwardly, like, shuffle to the bed and just, like, lean against it and go, I came to check in on you, especially as well, the last thing you said was you were gonna just go stare and be out of existence, which, seeing as you're... Holy peck, you are young, but... How you been coping?
I've been doing a bit... Better is better a good term for it. I've been alive. I'm alive. I'm here. That is definitely something I can say right now. And Lynn, as you're kind of leaning up against the bed, you might notice something. It's not exactly a mess, but it is not the usual bed orientation. The bed has been turned into just a nest of pillows and blankets.
Oh, that gets a blink from Lynn. And she just she is mainly focusing on Letty. In fact, can she roll, like, I guess insight might be something that she would roll just to make sure the kid is, not gonna go into microstrain or anything from everything, but they do seem okay-ish.
Yeah. You can roll insight, that's fine.
Hey!
That's a 22! Holy shit! Okay.
This is where Lynn excels, okay? This is post-investigation stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does look like somebody was in bed and did not leave bed for several hours.
Aww.
There is also kind of a note that, like, it is sort of organized, but there is kind of the, scramble of sheets and blankets that sort of indicates that maybe somebody was squirming in their sleep because they had a nightmare.
Oh, Lin gets that.
And because you got a fucking 22, here's a weird detail.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple random black feathers just there.
Well, how's about? Lin, for the most part, she is taking in all those details, especially those feathers, because that no one they interacted with had feathers.
Hmm.
Hmm. That's hmm. She's gonna think about that one.
She's
But
gonna
she is
pin that idea.
yeah. But her main thing is she does keep herself largely turned towards Lethe in the giving Lethe her full attention, even though Lin looks around everywhere. She's paranoid. She wants every angle,
Mm-hmm.
but she is making sure that she watches over the kid.
Oh, that's sweet of her.
It's what she does. It's how you take care of a network. You make sure they're all right. And she
Bless,
goes,
bless her heart.
and she goes, I know things were stressful. Have you had time to talk to the therapist yet that you were recommended?
Oh, no, not yet. I've meant to. I've been, uh, busy? And she kind of gestures to sort of the desk that's in the corner of the room, and it is stacked high with books and with paper. There are notes sticky taped to the wall. Um, it looks like somebody's been doing some serious homework.
Oh, kid after my own heart. And Lynn just like nods at that because yeah, I mean, heckin' heck, wait, this kid is really young and really diving into it. That's but also her room her side office. Yeah, you want to see the amount of pinboards she has up there for her cases and stuff. It it's an organized mess. She knows where everything is. Someone who tried to break in to steal her notes wouldn't be able to. It's a
No.
mess.
And Lethe kind of laughs a little embarrassedly and says, I know it's a bit of a disaster area, but, well, I, I'm new here and I have so much to catch up on. I'm so glad that there's that big room full of books downstairs because they have a lot of books about history. Apparently the place we are in is called Einquell. I did not know that. Um, and and she just starts kind of babbling about what she's been reading because she's been reading up about law stuff and about history stuff and about how to be person stuff.
Lynn full on just sits there and just she looks incredibly attentive and she just gives Lethe her full attention as this child babbles. It's Lynn just sit there. She does take a look at these notes, just see if there's anything she could perhaps lend some insight of her own with. I mean, she knows a lot about Toontown and she's been trying to read up on Halloween Town because this place, it's second home. It intrigues her.
Mm-hmm.
And she does want to learn more about the people that she cares about.
Mm-hmm. Here's the interesting thing though, Lynn. You can't read these. As far as you can tell, these are incomprehensible squiggles. There are a couple doodles here and there of just like diagrams and drawings of things. There's a little hand doodled map of Einquell and one of Halloween Town. With like a couple notes on it, like there's a bright blue heart drawn around the cafe, and a bright green circle around the courtroom and around the school. But for the most part, these notes are written in incomprehensible squiggly lines. They don't look like any language you've seen.
Hmm. And Lynn has seen a lot. She also has clocked the heart around the cafe. It's just like, connection. Very good, very good. She's going to try and help foster that. Like she will try and shove those two together. Not if they don't want romance, she's not going to go that. But connections of any kind are good, positive things, and this child needs many of them.
It's
And
just
many.
it's just a friend note.
Very good. And she does pick up one of them, and Lethe, she's Lynn actively, because she's not wearing her detective hat, her normal one. You've never seen her in that.
Hmm.
You do see a look of confusion as her head tilts to one side. She goes, "Hey, kiddo, what language is this one, eh?"
Oh, it's Echo. You know how I did the thing in the courtroom? Uh, hand touch, brain talk, that sort of thing.
Ah, yeah, that was peckin' fantastic, kiddo. I mean, seriously, I, I don't entirely get how you did it. I mean, it's magic, it's peckin' magical, and she stopped herself from saying the third word in her favorite phrase. So she goes, "No, I'm not going to say that one in front of very young child. They learn that one when they're 2 weeks old. Thank you very much."
uh, and Lethy kind of smiles and says, "Well, you can write in it too. It's not as simple as it is talking in it, because talking in it you just have to, you know." And she kind of makes the gesture of clapping her hands together, then quickly like grabs the blanket around her, like, "Oh wait, don't let that slip off." Um, but you just have to make physical contact with someone, and then you can send them the memories and thoughts and feelings that make up what you want to say. That's the basics of echo. But with writing, you can what's the term? Uh, you can basically code memories into the writing. Like, oh, that one, that one's about you actually. She
Oh,
points at the note in your hand.
well, I hope it's something flattering.
Um, and it does actually have like a little doodle of you in the corner of it.
Huh. And I'll admit, the this is an incredible skill of yours, Letty. I mean, I know a couple of languages myself. I know Toonkind, Grolix, Common, Giant, uh, another language, which is a very special one to me. But
Hmm.
this one is incredibly unique and incredibly useful on that front. And the first language I have never. I can pick up languages quite fast. I mean, normally I pick up the swear words first, admittedly, but
Well, they do
this,
tend to be useful.
yeah, yeah, I'll admit, swear words, they make the world go round. You can say a lot of things with them. R- Remind me to teach you a few of them later on, okay? You're gonna need them in Inkwell.
um, if you'd like, I could try and teach you how to read Echo, but it's not quite so easy as hearing it.
Okay, you say that. You see the stars in Lynn's eyes. There is a very intense look of "I wish to learn."
Well, you would probably have to go somewhere else. I mean, it's easiest to learn in a place where you feel uh, safe enough to let your mental walls down. And after I spooked you in the courtroom, I would understand if I'm not exactly the first person you would feel safest around in that regard.
Pickin' nonsense, kid. You're you're a good kiddo. I mean, admittedly, I'm a bit of a paranoid picnic, and what happened in the courtroom was not your fault. All right, it's my head playing tricks on me.
I understand, but I still feel sorry. You've been nothing but kind to me, and I do see you as a friend, and I'm very
Oh,
sorry to have hurt you.
right. Lynn actually just like full on puts her hand up at that and goes, "Nope, nope, no need to be sorry. All right. In fact, I'm a bit of a broken tune. I'm learning how to stitch myself together. I'm taking steps on that front, and I'm learning different ways, including." And she reaches into her pocket, and you hear a rattle. She goes, I've given myself, well, I've talked to certain people and got myself some medication to help me with my paranoia and my other attitudes, but something that I'm gonna tell you is... Oh. Do apologise for...
Technical difficulties, please stand by.
And Lin is never gonna tell you her secrets now. I do apologise about that. I, quite frankly, have no idea who that was.
Valid.
But we cut back to the actual thing, as whatever that was happened, and Lin goes, I will tell you, what happened in that courtroom has never happened to me before. I admit I do freeze on occasions, but I don't freeze like that.
Oh. Was there anything in particular that maybe caused it? Maybe... I mean... memories... ironically kind of my area. Maybe it's something you've buried.
Yeah. I've got a feeling on that front that I went through some stuff before I met you. It's one of the reasons why I trust Asclepius so much, because he helped me out of the worst situation of my life. And I think that whatever happened to me in that courtroom, I think part of that was related to memories of past events of... And she rubs her shoulder at that and she goes, my mind is a bit chaotic, but I think with what I've learned from that situation, I mean, I'm going to be taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen again, but I think it's put me on a few paths that I need to investigate, so I gotta thank you on that front.
You're thanking me for making you scared in a courtroom.
Oh, I've been scared in a lot weirder places, kiddo. we have our fears, and it's how we deal with them, how we grow with them, and how we grow ourselves to adapt to them. That's what defines us, what makes us who we are. And now I know about this, trigger of mine, I can take steps to patch it and work with it. So, it's how we grow, it's how we learn. And speaking of safe places, well, honestly, kiddo, I trust you. You could pour soup in my lap and I'd probably apologise.
Goodness, why would I do that?
And Lynn actually has to take a second to think on that one. Goes, I'm pretty sure it's just a turn of phrase on that front. Don't worry. But
that's just a waste of soup.
You know what? You're pecking right on that front. We've got to find something else to spill instead. However, I think the safest place I can think of, and somewhere you might enjoy. How'd you like to come back to network?
What's network?
It's... Well, you've got a business card from when we met, but network's a bit of a warm welcome home of mine. Well, their home.
Oh, that's lovely.
We could go there right now if you like. I mean, you might want to get dressed, and I might want to take off your shoes. Although, I gotta admit, the height, kiddo, the height is incredible. I could actually reach on top of the pecking table. It's fantastic. And she does just like full on pat the table without having to like reach. She is grinning so wide. It's just, this is pecking fantastic.
You can borrow them for a while if you like. I think I have another pair of not so tall shoes in my hammer space.
Are you sure you want me to keep these shoes for now, kiddo? Because I'm not gonna lie, you're probably not gonna get them back. And it is completely teasing on that front, but you can just see. But I'm gonna see if she actually manages to stay upright still. She's penguin waddled so far. She's penguin waddled. Slightly less. She's using her tail for balance. She is just... It is like watching a deer on ice.
Well, if you're sure you can walk in them without hurting yourself, I don't see why not.
This is gonna be the most peckin' fantastic idea we've ever had.
Oh, goodness. I mean, not that we've had many. Oh, goodness. But
Yeah, we had a few good bright ideas. I mean, you've got a really bright mind, kiddo, and if you're looking into law, I mean, we can talk about that some more if you like.
I wouldn't mind that. I've been looking at a couple things while I've been trying to, shall we say, string everything together.
Story of the predominant amount of our lives, but if there's anything I can do to help on that front, and if this is something you want to pursue, because, kid, I saw you in that courtroom and you were incredible. Under some very, very harrowing and dangerous circumstances, you kept your head.
And Letty kind of blushes and ducks her head under the blanket for a second.
Oh, Lin actually just leans forward slightly and just like pokes you and just goes, nope, you're pecking fantastic. If you want to be a lawyer, I'm going to help you be the best pecking lawyer in this town. In all of our, well, you are going to be a star. And she's just poking you, just like nudge, 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 nudge.
And Liffy is giggling, and I'm going to have to make a dex save real fast. I was going to wait to do that until Liffy was in the bathroom, but okay.
You can do that. We can do that if you want, because
That's an 11. Okay, so the DC was 15. Shit.
we can have it as a partial slip if you like, because
Yeah.
they're always the most observant, bless her.
Yeah, Letty, like, is giggling, and she kind of loses her grip on the, blanket that's covering her up for a second, and, it slips, and there's sort of a glimpse of something black that you see before Letty, like, realizes, oh shit, and then, like, grabs it and pulls it back around her.
Oh, yeah. Everything all right there, Letty?
Of course. Of course. Sorry.
It's alright. It's alright. I shouldn't have nudged, but
No,
okay,
it's alright. I'll go get dressed.
Yeah, you do that, all right? I'll be right out here.
Yep.
And then Lin sits on the bed, and she is gonna, as she sits down and as Letty's going off, she is gonna put one of her hands on one of the feathers from earlier, and she is just gonna be like, "Okay, the kid might have a bird." do you let kids keep their? Is it a therapy animal? Is it an animal? Oh god, this kid picked up an animal just randomly and is now keeping.
Oh.
How do you pick that up? How do you bring up? It's got a pet bird. Did they just pick it up out the window?
Lynn, you might want to roll investigation on that feather.
Yes. She is in her head just going, holy heck, the kid's got a pet.
That's a 20. Lynn, you might notice something. So, something that you picked up when you first met Letty was she has a pretty serious case of film grain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was worried about that.
Yeah, that effect is also on this feather.
Okay, her internal spiel of the conspiracy board of how to get this child a pet legally has flown out the window. Actually, there is just question mark. Literal, there are Lynn's Brawlix actually has, like, is tangible when it's around her head sometimes when she swears. No, this time there is just question marks. So she's just going, what the heck?
And I need to roll something at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Boop. Boop. Oh,
Hey,
fuck.
love to see. That's what we love to see.
That's a 6.
Hey.
So, Lynn, you're looking at this feather and being very confused, and you hear a very loud sound from the bathroom of... Well, there's a couple of them, actually. There's a thwomp. There's something hitting the wall. There's
Oh.
a clatter, and there's some very loud growlix as you can hear
Oh.
somebody land in the bathtub.
Oh, pecking heck. You alright, kid?
I'm okay! Probably!
You
Ow!
sure? Do you want me to come in? Hang on. I'm coming in. Are you decent? I don't want to pick it.
Uh,
Okay. I'm taking that as a yes. I'm
uh,
coming.
oh
And yeah,
goodness.
there is this penguin shuffle of Lin in the yes. It is very much on stilts. She is using the wall as support, and her tail. Her tail is just used as a counterbalance. And,
You know, as
and she,
tails are meant to be.
yes, this tail is so peckin' useful. It has saved her life many a time. And she just does, okay, I'm coming in. And what exactly does she see?
Well, for starters, she sees a disaster area.
Oh, heck.
For, like, stuff has been knocked off of the shelf on the wall. There are towels on the floor. The curtain rod has been yanked down and is in the bathtub. Letty is also in the bathtub, just kind of blinking and looking confused. And, sort of awkwardly spread out behind her, like she was trying to, like, get them to fold properly, but couldn't. There is a pair of very large black wings. Bird wings. So not a pet bird.
That gets a blink of, yeah, her brain was still on the maybe bird, maybe familiar bird, maybe it's a familiar, and now she just sees that and goes, oh. I got no pecking clue what this is, but okay. And she does just look at you going, you are right, Letty? That is quite a... and she does glance around the room and go, a tumble?
And Letty is just kind of blinking stars out of her eyes and shaking her head. And just like, Ow.
Oh, bless. Okay, hang on. I'm coming over. I'm coming over, and I'm gonna help you out the bathtub with my incredible height, and we're gonna.
I think as soon as Letty, like, kind of gets her bearings and realizes her wings are out, she's like, oh, shit. And she's like... she's like trying to tuck them behind her to hide them. It's not effective, but...
Yeah, so say it's okay. It's okay. You're fine. It's. Normally, I'd ask if hiding wings was a cultural thing, but I don't think that fully applies. What are you doing, kid? Stop doing that. Get over it. You're fine. Just let me check your head. You might have bumped it.
And I don't think Letty has any words. She's just kind of baffled. Like, I'm not being arrested?
Nope. You have activated something that Lin rarely does. Well, actually, that's a lie. She activates it so much. It's her mother hen mode.
Oh no.
Yep, she doesn't know about head injuries.
Luckily, Letty doesn't really have a head injury. She just kind of conked herself on the wall for a second.
That's probably why. That's probably why she rolls so low, because she is just going, okay, there's no ink, there's no problem, there's giant pecking wings. I don't know how. We're going to unpack that in a moment, and she is just. It's just the most softest patting of your knee ever. As she's trying to be very, very gentle, as she just goes, "You're all right. You're all right. You just took a tumble, and we're just gonna up you get, and you're fine. Hooray!"
Yeah, and you kind of see as you help Letty up why she was having such a time. Like, these are big fucking wings, and this is a tiny ass bathroom.
Oh yeah. I'm betting a guess they're probably bigger than Lin.
They are definitely bigger than Lin. They're bigger than Letty.
That gets a low whistle as she goes, well. That's something you don't see every day.
Please don't tell anyone.
Oh? Okay, I mean, heckin' heck, how did you hide these in the first place?
well, I just fold them up really tight and pin them under my shirt and my vest most of the time.
And that doesn't hurt?
Uh, I mean, it didn't hurt when I first got here. It
Oh,
started to get a little sore when I got to the hotel room, which is why I got undressed, and then, whoomph, and then, oh dear.
yeah. That's I'll admit it's a surprising part of the design. I'll give it that, but it's got its charm. But
Uh, I, I didn't, I don't, I don't want to go to jail for bird crimes. I I haven't seen anyone else with wings like this. I don't know if it's normal, and I don't want to get in trouble if it's not, so I've just been kind of hiding them.
okay, well, Adeline has put her hands in front of her face in the prayer hands pose. She goes, okay. There is, kiddo, you're not gonna go to jail for bird crimes. I promise I can vouch for you. I'll admit I haven't studied law in extreme detail, at least not this kind of law, but I can quite frankly assure you you're not gonna go to jail for having pecking wings. It's a part of your design, kiddo. It's fine. It's normal to have eccentric parts of your design. I mean, I'll admit, wings aren't something I'm familiar with when they're not birds, but it's not something to be scared of or ashamed of or worried about. It's a part of you.
Detective, when I first got here, I got arrested for standing in a room.
Admittedly, yes, those were extenuating circumstances. I mean, there was a bit of a bigger factor in that room, for one thing.
Okay, that is a point.
Yes, there is a very big, blunt point on that one. But not. And she does place her hand just gently on you. She goes, I promise you, not everything is like that. That, for a first experience, was, well, it was a very much an outlier. I can promise you the world is a lot kinder and better than that hand you were dealt. And I fully hope and will be trying to help you get a better existence than the start.
Lynn, you can roll insight if you want.
Yes. Yes, she pecking well would. Because she loves this kiddo. And she wants to see this kiddo prosper. That's a 12?
I mean, I don't think she's particularly trying to hide anything, so 12 will get you something. Lethe looks confused, but also very comforted. Like, oh, okay, that's nice. This is safe, trusted person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Person
All
not
right.
freaking out. Everything's okay.
Yeah. Okay, Lynn has fully adopted this one. This is one of her nieces. She's going to have to come up with a name for them. TikTok niece? TikTok niece sounds good. It fits their cute little alarm clock noise. She loved that noise. She was okay. And she was okay. So, yep. All right. If you don't want to, I guess short periods of having them tucked away might not hurt. We'll figure out a way of concealing them if you want. I mean, I think I've got a bit of money. After this, I could help you find a cloak or a cape or something. You'd be an air of dramatic. It'd look very cool.
I that might work. I don't know. I saw a couple people walking around town who had sort of longer coats. Those might work a bit better. Just with the style of my design, it doesn't really. She kind of like gestures to the fact that her sort of outfit style is very steampunk-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exactly lean well to cloaks. And I will note she's got a shirt on. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, I assume that much, but she goes, well, we could find a way. I mean, you like gears, right? I know some people who make well, I'm a stagehand. If I ask the right people, I'm sure we could find a way to make a cloak with some gears or something on it, fit the aesthetic.
Maybe. I don't
Anyway,
know. For now this works, and she kind of like she glares at her wings as if like daring them to misbehave. Um, let's try this again. There we
hey,
go.
there we go.
And she sort of like shuffles them a little bit and just kind of tucks them away behind her back before pulling her vest on.
Well, that is a neat trick. But anyway, you finish getting dressed. I will hopefully not hit the petting deck. Hey, no, she's getting the hang of wearing these shoes. I mean, she does just it's still penguin shuffle, but she does go and she goes, okay, you do that, and then I'll meet you out there, and you can bring any notes that you want or anything, because if you're gonna teach me how to do this, I don't particularly know how this works because it's your language. I defer to you. And she does a little flourishing bow and she goes, but I will go out and then we shall journey to network.
And Lethe kind of giggles and nods and looks around in her hammer space for another pair of shoes. Yeah, she pulls out a pair of flats.
Lin is having the time. Lin is going to have the time of her life. She's tall.
She's tall. Lin has acquired height.
Yes. Lin, after this, Lin is going to go out and find shoes like this, and she is going to use them. This is the best thing ever.
Get Lin some fucking Metaton heels.
She is loving it. You can just hear her as you're getting ready. You can just hear her slowly adjusting to wearing them as she just walks up and down the room.
Bless. Lethe actually doesn't pick up a whole bunch of her notes to bring. She just kind of picks up like a couple of the notes that she has on the people from the courtroom because, okay, this is a memory that we share, so this will be easier as a point of reference. And then she picks up a notebook because that's an easy way to show somebody, okay, so this is what it looks like when you write in Echo. And then I imagine we do a bit of a transition.
Yes, we transition! And I have not got the picture of Network up straight away on my thing. But because you did that so well. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Feel my love. Feel my love. It is going through the screen. But he's drowning it. But we get to Network, which is a very nice building in the lower mid Toontown. And then just goes, oh, by the way, word of warning. They're excitable.
They?
Yeah, you'll see in a minute. And you do see an ever so slightly smothered grin on Lin's face as she puts her hand on the door and walks in and goes, I'm home!
Oh, goodness. Lethe's just like, oh god, should I be afraid?
Do you go in? This is the big question. Do you go in?
I mean, she trusts Lin, so she's going to follow.
Make me a dex save.
Oh, Lord.
I have the image.
Yes! That's a 10.
Okay, Lethe, there is a very loud, happy hum of, and yeah, you're airborne. There is this warm gust of wind, and it tornadoes around you in a curious hug, and yeah, you're up.
Yeah, I imagine that, like, Lethe was a little less careful than usual with her vest, so it kind of, like, slips a little bit and her wings flare out to steady her. And she just kind of gets yeeted a couple feet in the air.
Oh,
Just-
Lynn's looking at that, just like, well, would you look at that?
And just, there's a very startled alarm clock trill, just like,
It's all right. It's all right. Network, put her down. Network. I know she's a sweetie. Sweetheart, put her down.
After the ring, though, she starts giggling because, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Lynn's just leaning on the wall, her own hair being tousled by this breeze, just going, you doing all right? Go. Enjoying the view?
And Letty kind of just like opens her wings a little bit so that she can sort of land, and she's just like, that was certainly something. Hello, pleased to meet you.
Network sweetheart says it's pleased. Says pleased to peck and meet you as well. And I am directly quoting sweetheart.
Oh goodness, I do wonder where they picked up swears from.
No idea. Oh god, actually, you were close to the ceiling. Would Letty have any chance looked up as she was like everything going on?
Probably.
Great. Letty, on the ceiling of Lin's home, I mean, it's open at the start, so as you come in, you can just go up quite significantly, and there are rafters and everything. There's also tattooed Grawlix in rainbow colours on the ceiling.
Oh goodness.
Yes. It's overlapping of several different fonts, almost as though many different people besides Lin have also imprinted here.
Oh goodness.
I have no idea where they picked it up from, but hey, I love it.
No idea whatsoever.
But, this is in full. This is Network Sweetheart Nettle, my network, my heart of everything I do.
They're lovely. And Letty is actually looking around, and there is a faint golden glow to her eyes, and she looks very happy, and also, like, there is a distinct sense of, oh, familiar. You don't get to know why that is.
No.
But there is a distinct sense of familiarity.
The gold brightens even more in Network's walls, and you actually see very faint outlines of rainbow threads. It's only faint, but they're there briefly. And then Lin claps her hands and goes, so, we had a mission.
Yes! And Letty claps her hands as well. Right.
Network does just like knock Lin's hat off her head, and actually, I'm gonna roll something as Lin comes further into the house because Lin's different height to normal.
Oh no!
Hey, she's doing okay. She is actually getting the hang of these heels quite well, and she does actually. You hear her hum a series of notes as she gestures at her feet. She's just told Network everything. But anyway, so we are in the most comforting, warm place I know. How the peck do you do this? And she's grinning.
And Letty kind of smiles and says, all right, which do you want to learn first? How to speak or how to read?
Which ones? Well, I'm presuming you were born doing them, materialized doing them, seeing as I don't think you had time to pick up an entire Piccan language where you were.
No, actually, as far as I can tell, design-wise, Echo is my first language. I actually have a bit of trouble with Common. I certainly can't read it.
Wait,
but,
you can't read?
I can read, I just can't read Common. Something Warlock magic, something I poke books and they get translated into Echo and download the knowledge into my brain.
Aha, something Piccan magical bullshit. Alright. Wait, Peck, I wasn't meant to say that. You're too young for this, Peck. Do not repeat what I just said, okay? You're too young. Ask me again in a week.
And Letty just kind of giggles and makes a zip motion across her lips.
Very good. I will teach you all the swears in 2 weeks. You are allowed to learn them then, okay? And until then, and tell you what, we can do this as a trade. You give me, or you teach me a part of your language, and I do have books for teaching people common here.
Oh, that could be
Yeah.
useful. I will admit there is a bit of a problem with the. Well, it just translates. I don't have a way of actually trying to read text because it just. And she kind of gestures with her hands and just.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that could be a problem. Well, we can work something out, though. I mean, we could start with. Yeah, we'll work something out. I'll figure out. I think we have a pop-up book that might help.
uh,
But,
that might help.
yeah, but then perhaps speech might be the best one. I mean, if common is something you're having trouble with, if I learn your language, it might be easier to figure out how to decode it from the other end.
Ah,
Cross engineer.
there's a thought to that. Okay. So when you speak Echo, it's well, I showed you how in the courtroom, but that was more me talking to you than conversation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she sort of looks for a place to sit down because it's easier to do this when you're not standing up.
There is when as you come in from the main hallway, which luckily you will have actually felt the floorboards underneath you nudging you further into the building. Just
Oh.
it is just very soft nudge. It's just a very nudge, 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 nudge. But there is in the main room with the very plush carpet. There's a big desk, a big oak desk with chairs either side of it, and a very nice armchair on the other side. Spinny armchair. Lynn loves that chair. And there's also a sofa off to one side.
Oh, sofa works.
All right. And as you kind of turn that way, there is the more insistent nudge, nudge underneath your feet of network cottoning on of, yes, sitting down. That is what you do with guests. Very good, very good. Much sitting. So yeah, you are just, both of you, including Lynn, are just directed to sit down.
And Letty kind of blinks and just like, there is something weirdly familiar about that, but whatever. And she smiles up at the ceiling and says, "Thank you," as she sits down. Because you have to be polite to the friendly house.
Oh yeah, you've gone even further up in Lynn's book of caring for people. Just like, yes, you are treating network with respect. You're adopted. It's too late.
You're being adopted. Please do not resist.
You do actually notice there is, because on the side of the room where the couch is, it's closest to the wall of love, and you actually see a orange thread light up on the wall and a sketch of yourself.
And she blinks in surprise, and I'm gonna have her roll insight because I don't know if she's gonna recognize what that means. I mean, her insight is a +7, but
That is very impressive.
boop, that's a 13.
Yeah,
I think she'd probably ask with a 13. She'd just be like, "Oh, is that all the people you know?"
Yes, that's, well, and she leans over and she just gestures at it and goes, "That's the wall of love. It's people I care about or people I think would work well to come here, to come to network to meet them, or just to come when they need it, or just want to. I mean, you can drop by anytime you want, kiddo, but you've definitely become part of that. And well, there are lots of people. For example, Asclepius, and she does gesture at him, and she goes, and you might not have met his husband. I mean, Jacques is pick and fantastic. He's also on there, and you see a skeleton up there as well, right next to him.
Oh. I didn't think I did get to meet him, but they both look so nice.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you'd love. In any other situation, honestly, they are the grandest people. And Lynn like Lin is slightly leaning over you, you actually feel her fur soften even more.
Hmm.
And they give good hugs.
Hmm. And Letty smiles and says, I'll take your word on that.
Mm-hmm.
You have a
Maybe
lot
one
of
day.
people who you care about. That's nice.
Yeah. It is the best. It's having a network, having all these connections. I mean, that's what Sweetheart runs off of bonds of connections. And in a way, I guess I do as well.
Hmm.
And speaking of bonds and connections, how does this connection of echoey bond stuff work? And she does actually just like pat your hand because she remembers. Yes, it was through touch. She thinks maybe is that how it works?
uh,
Quickly, just hand.
and Letty like laughs and turns her hand over so it's palm up. And then blinks and then says, okay, this would actually be easier if. And she takes off her gloves. Uh, and the gloves go a lot longer than you would expect. Like, you only see the part where it covers the palm of her hand, but she takes them off and they look like they go up to her elbows under her sleeves.
Huh.
Um, but she takes them off and folds them up and puts them in her hammer space and says, okay, well, it is a touch telepathy language. You don't necessarily need physical contact for it to work. You can do it through message, I think, is the spell.
Oh, I actually have that one. I learned it semi recently from from Jacques. He's been teaching me a few things so I can actually understand this sort of stuff.
Oh,
I'm
that's
I'm
nifty.
not the best. I'm not the best at it. I'm pretty sure I've probably blown people's eardrums out from the inside. Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
fair warning on that one. I do apologize in advance.
Well, there's sort of an equivalent for long range with message, but it's more that instead of direct mental contact, it's more like. Okay, so if I wanted to talk to you long distance with Echo, what I would do is I would give you something of mine, um,
Mhm.
and you would give me something of yours. What comes to mind, I don't know if anyone actually speaks this language besides me, but what comes to mind is like a bracelet almost.
Huh.
I That's the thought that comes to mind. Just something small that you can touch and make contact with that sort of links you to the other person. But that's complicated stuff. You probably need to learn to actually conversation first.
Uh-huh.
Um,
You have Lynn's brow furrow at that as she does pull out from one of her pockets because she keeps them in her pockets. One of her business cards. She goes, "Okay, we can work with that. We can work." So, actually communicating.
mhm. And she holds her hands out, palms up.
There is the Lynn blinks. Lynn puts her own hands in the air and then just plaps them down in yours.
And um, there is sort of a tap tap on your mind like someone knocking on a door.
Lynn leans into it. Is just like, "Yep, this is a kid she trusts."
Mm,
And besides, if anything happened, do you really think anything could happen within network? I mean, seriously, you've seen the tornadoes this person can produce. What do
yeah.
you think they do when they're not happy?
Goodness gracious, yeah. Um, okay, so you accept the little tap tap, which is sort of an invitation, you realize. Like, that's kind of the invitation to start conversation, almost like a greeting. Um, and then there is a feeling of greeting and a memory of different times that Letty has said, hello, nice to meet you. Um, and a feeling of warm sunshine. And then, let me just pop open my notes. Um, it is used in conjunction with a series of memories and images Let me just find it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Um, there is the memory of you when you introduced yourself to the detention center. At the detention center. There's the memory of you swearing in the courtroom and telling Prosecutor Memento to get pecked.
Oh, pick that's in there. Okay.
There's the There's the feeling of a warm, heavy blanket, of a room that's comfortable and it's dark and quiet, rough wool fabric under your hand, a warm cup of tea, skepticism, cleverness, kindness, friendship, comfort, and all of it kind of loops back around to one word: detective. And you realize that what Lethe has just said is, "Hello, detective."
Oh, there is just utter awe on Lin's face. And she goes, "Holy pick. That's incredible."
It's
How do I do that back? I mean, you remember what she rolled on that when she tried. I think it was, you will get a 5 and you will like
uh, try rolling wisdom real fast. Just straight wisdom.
Just straight wisdom. Lin can do that. What's your wisdom, Lin? What's your wisdom? Okay, it's a +3. That's not too terrible.
18.
Hey!
Yeah. Lin, you ask how you respond back, and you kind of do it by accident. Because you realize that you are sending across the feelings of confusion, curiosity, and wanting to learn.
Holy pick. There is probably also the sensation of, well, Lin bases network speech on emotion and intent, so that might be a bit more of why she understands it now.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, there is a very much almost the sensation of happy Grawlix. She doesn't swear specifically. It's more the monkey chatter of the Grawlix.
Mm-hmm.
And the warmth and joy and excitement and curiosity. I'm doing it. I'm pecking heck. And yes, she pom poms.
Oh, that is going into Lin's name record.
And there is actually another thing that you notice with this, because
Mm-hmm.
Lin is thinking of learning magic, and in doing so, you get other traces of memory.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how much. In fact, actually, you've said there's visual.
Mm-hmm.
You get the feeling of Lin sitting somewhere, staring at two people, of Jacques and Asclepius, in a place that you don't know, a bedroom perhaps, and her feeling warm and comfortable and safe, the feeling of skeletal fingers over her hand engulfing it, and the feeling of warmth, of pumpkin spice, of cold wind, of freshly turned earth, and a feeling in your chest that's warm of concealed magic, as Lin's own magic tries to understand how this works, how it fits, how she's learning.
And Lin Lethe is just grinning at you, and it's not the, scary grin from the courtroom. It's just the warmest, happiest goddamn smile that you have seen on this child since she got her umbrella back. Which, by the way, she does have with her. She did bring that with her. It's leaning up against the couch right now.
And tell me, I don't actually think, because this is telepathic, it has much of a filter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
There is the happy Rolex again, but also Lethe, you see an image of yourself, of when you were hugging your umbrella with the very, very adorable noise that, yes, Lin does play on loop in her head, because that was the cutest pecking shit ever.
And you kind of get a sense of flustered embarrassment but amusement from Lethy. Just, oh, yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Whoops. Well, she's not ashamed of it. She's happy to have gotten her umbrella back, and you kind of get almost an explanation through Echo of basically the feeling of being somewhere and being lost and being scared and being alone, and then having something put in your hands and being told that this is you. This is a part of you. This is going to keep you safe. This is going to keep you okay. And just the comforting weight of that heavy thing in your hand, the way that the warm light from that ring of light that's in the handle of it is just a comforting nightlight, the way it's just safe. It's a safe object.
Lin sends back almost an essence of her own version of that. You've seen her skull brooch that she has?
Mm-hmm.
You feel in the palm of your hand for a moment smooth metal, a thumb rubbing over it, how it's cool but comforting, and how there's the feeling of safety, of warmth, of treasured person, of safety and the ability to protect, and the ability to use fear and drive fear away, because Lin is a toon that is scared constantly. But gifts like this mean she's less scared. That she can champion things, that she can be safe and be someone to save others.
Hmm.
Well, this is amazing, kiddo.
It's a hell of a way to communicate, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you turn it off? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely loving this, but I don't think you want to hear all of my memories, because I've got some doozies, and you do all of a sudden get the mental urge of a giant group of stagehands that look like Lin, all swearing. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. You probably don't want to see all of this. And she does take her hands out of yours, but
Lethy kind of laughs.
It was a feeling of warmth and safety. Yeah, you definitely know how all the Brawlix got on the ceiling, but she's like, yeah, pick it, you're too young still.
And Lethy kind of laughs and folds her hands in her lap and says, okay, so the easiest way to not do that is to focus on other things. So if you'd like, I could focus on showing you how to introduce yourself.
Yeah, pick and heck, yeah, do it. And she holds her hands up like a high five.
And Lethy, pats her hand against Lin's hand. And you get, again, the tap tap.
It's like opening a door on Lin's end. In fact, it's almost the memory of Lin opening the door to Network, of placing her hand on it, and just free entrance, just safety, home, welcome.
Mm-hmm. And there is, again, the hello. There's the greeting. There's hello, detective. And then there is the mental image of a mirror. And then there is the feeling of ticking clockwork. There is the feeling of warm metal, of turning pages, of cool rain and gentle breezes, and of sort of the scratchiness, the ticking sound of film going through a camera. And there are the concepts of restoration, of protection, of healing, of fixing. So much about fixing. There's the concept of memory, and there's a blank space that is very prominent but it's not the kind of blank space that hurts to be empty. It's the kind that's waiting to be filled. And it all loops back around to Lethe. And you realize that that is how Lethe says her name in Echo.
Wow.
Now you try to introduce yourself to me.
Okay. Pick and hick. And I'm gonna almost. Should I roll for this?
You can try.
Let's see.
14, that's not bad.
It's wobbly and shaky. Like wearing high heels for the first time. And there's the feeling of an opening door, of a smile on someone's face, and hello, pleased to pick and meet you, at your service, of Pom Pom, of Lin, of Little Lin, of Warmth Bringer. And from that, there's other sensations. There's the feeling of the cold metal in the palm of your hand as you hold a brooch, of baking, of the sense of cinnamon and of chili and of so many other things, including pumpkin. It's the feeling of a warm hug and bright fur. It's welcome and strings of rainbows. And there's also a part that Lin's keeping shut. It almost feels scarred. It's cracked wood, torn wood by claws. It's healing. There's gold around the wood, and it's russet, but it's fading. Whatever it was is being taken apart and dissected and learned from. It's no longer, well, it is defining her, but it's no longer a key aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's protection and love and warmth and security, and the feeling of fury of, if you cross this person or if you hurt someone this one cares for, there'll be hell to pay. But it's contained. Did it work? I think it worked.
It worked. And Lethe smiles and you get a mental image in your head of a match being struck and a candle being lit, and you kind of get the sense that this is basically a nickname.
What's candle of warmth?
So nicknames in Echo basically work as you hear how somebody introduces themselves, right? And if you want to talk to them, if you want to talk about them to others, it's considered polite to use a nickname version of their name, which is a memory of their name. So, for example, I would use Lin, and then a summary image. And for me, what comes to mind after hearing your introduction is a candle, light in the darkness.
Oh, I'm flattered. So if I were... And Lin focuses as hard as she can on what she remembers from yours. There is the ticking of a clock. It's the combination of a ticking of a clock on a film reel. She knows what those look like. She's a stagehand, and so there is that as the best as she can. It's probably not the best. It's probably almost cartoonish as she's tried.
Hey, it works. And Lin, you can roll insight for a second, because you do kind of have a glimpse into Lethe's thoughts, as she is both very flattered, but there's something else there.
Ooh. Peck it.
You know what? I will give you advantage because Echo is, brain talk. 11. Sure, that passes. Yeah. There is a sense of very sudden, oh, familiar. I know that. Why do I know that? What? Followed by confusion, and there's sort of a feeling of chasing almost, and you can feel Lethy's mind pull away from yours a little bit as it tries to chase down that memory and basically meets a brick wall. And she sighs and says, "No, still not there."
Brick walls in your own mind. I'm familiar with those, unfortunately.
And she kind of laughs and says, "Well, right now it's kind of a bit all brick walls and empty space up here. But the nice thing about empty space is that you can fill it with new things."
Indeed. And you can fill it with, honestly, wonderful things. I mean, heck, you've got your entire life ahead of you. And she has taken her hands off of yours, and she instead puts it on your shoulder, and there is warmth there, and she goes, "You've got an entire life, and there is wonder in Inkwell, Lethy. There is wonder and kindness and hope and love, and, well, you've already made a few connections. I mean, you and Phasmus,
Yes, it's a lovely friend.
And we need all the friends we can get in this world, but through that, you're going to build connections and bonds, and that mind of yours, that very, very bright mind," and she does give you a little nudge on the forehead with that one. And honestly, you're already changing the world. I can't wait to see how else you do so.
Goodness.
You're a bright one, little TikTok. You're a bright.
And you can hear Lethy laughing quietly. She's very flattered, and you can also hear a quiet sound because you're closer to her now than you have been since like maybe when she hugged you back at the cafe after the courtroom case.
Yep.
There is a soft ticking sound coming from inside her chest. And she smiles and says, "Well, I guess I look forward to it too."
And if you ever need any help on it, I mean, I'll admit I'm not the most affluent, but if you need any help with anything, I mean, if you want to go into law, I mean, you're pecking great at it, kiddo. I mean, you had a night, and within a day, I mean, the case itself, you were a sharp cookie. And if you can do that on a single night, everything going crazy, you coming out of pecking nowhere in that situation, if you can do it in that circumstance with time, with training, you could be one of the best lawyers in Idaho.
And she smiles and says, "Well, I mean, I don't know a whole bunch about law, but I do know that every good lawyer seems to have a good investigation team behind them, and I'll admit, you're very talented."
Well, thank you. And she does tip her hat and she goes, "I mean, I've solved a lot of cases over the years. I've still got one I need to solve at some stage. I'll solve it eventually. And I'll sleep a lot better when I do, but if ever you need any help with anything, just please try not to materialize in any more offices. I will always bail you out, but when I sense a pattern, I will start getting a bit suspicious."
Trust me, I do not intend to have that happen ever again. That was a terrible experience.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, seriously, why the universe decided, yes, that's where I'm gonna pick and drop you, I don't know.
I don't either. I assume it was for plot reasons.
Yeah, we cursed out the plot. We cursed them out. In fact, network, we cursed them out, and there is a very loud hum. See, even the house agrees. We curse out the plot. The plot is dastardly. It throws us into bad situations for development.
And Letty just breaks down laughing. And I think
Oh,
that's.
Lynn's joining in on that one. It's like, yep. But it's probably getting a little late now.
Mm-hmm.
You, Letty, I gotta ask, have you got ideas of where you want to be from here? I mean,
How so?
you're living in a hotel. It's if you want. I mean, I've got a spare bedroom here, and my son Rai. I mean, he does like meeting new people. But if you weren't comfortable with that, I've got other stagehands, other connections who would be very pleased to see someone who can do what you do. I mean, you have no idea how many film reels and battered devices we get through. It's Reggie and pyrotechnics. It's not recommended.
You see a little bit of a sparkle in Letty's eyes, almost the kind of shing of ooh interest when you mention that there's a possibility of fixing things. But she still kind of shakes her head and says, I'm okay with staying at the hotel, actually. They've been letting me stay for free, basically, while I've been, there is so much broken in that house. It's wonderful. Well, I mean, it's terrible. But I, I love fixing things. I love fixing things. It's so much fun. It's so good. And she just kind of does a little bit of a flappy hands gesture, and her wings kind of fluff up and flap a little bit in her excitement because, fix things. Yes, good.
Oh, Lynn is going to foster that. She's going to pop on by every now and then with something broken and just go, "Hey, kid, look what I got ya."
Congratulations, you are now favorite person. But Letty just says they're letting me stay for free for as long as I keep finding things to fix, and there is so much to fix. Yesterday, I got to fix a bathtub. It was amazing. I had to take the whole damn thing apart, but it was amazing.
Holy heck, that does sound fun. And if you ever need something broken so you can fix it, just call me, okay? I'm pretty good at breaking stuff. I mean, seriously, and she actually hasn't done this before. Let me just... Oh, she hasn't shown it around you. Oh, God.
That's a fumble.
That's a fumble. Okay, we're gonna see what Lynn gets on her fumble chart, guys.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I've got to pull up her fumble chart. I didn't think... I was gonna pull out her pick and axe. Alright, let's see. It's a D20, I think. Yeah, she's got 20 things on her list. Please don't be the cheese knife. Please don't be the cheese knife. Oh, no, it's actually something quite cute.
Aww.
It's a needle felt little thing. A needle felt little rose that she's been making. And she goes, "Oh, that?
Oh, that's beautiful."
Yeah. I'll admit that wasn't quite what I was going to pull out my axe. I mean, you haven't seen it yet. It's a beauty. I absolutely love my axe. But if you need me to smash anything for you, just give me a call. I'll come over. It'll be a freak accident. No one will know how it happened.
I think I would prefer to find things that are already broken, but if I ever find myself in a situation where there's nothing to fix and my brain is going absolutely nuts, I will take you up on that.
Frickin' fantastic. But would you? Do you want to stay the night? You can if you want, or I could take you home. How's that sound?
I suppose I wouldn't mind staying one night. I will try and go home in the morning, though.
Frickin' fantastic. You actually hear the door lock as Network just happily hums like, okay, I think Network took initiative on that one. How do you like chili?
Uh, well, the chili you gave me after the court case definitely was a certain pick-me-up.
Heckin' fantastic. We have loads. You're gonna love it. Also, you get to meet my son. You're gonna love him. He's fantastic. He's a little shadow boy. He does magic. And Lin is just gonna honestly, you gushed earlier about everything with Echo, about magic, about lore. Yeah. Lin's babble subject is talking about her family.
And Lethy is all too happy to pecking listen.
Yes. There is going to be the glow on the wall as each one of the different sketches lights up at some stage as she rambles. But I think where we can leave off, if you like.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to cut things.
It's warm, it's safe, it's happy, and these two have a new connection.
Yeah!
Hooray! This is how you do it, Lin. This is how you check in with people. You don't break into their homes.
No, you just chase them through 9 fucking hotels!
Oh god, she's gonna probably have to talk to Dr. Asclepius about that later on. Sorry, I'm heckin' panicked. They'll understand. Maybe.
Also, Lin is going to be getting more regular lessons on Echo from Lethy, because Lethy is excited to have somebody who can talk to her in her first language.
Lin is going to throw herself into learning this language so much. She's also going to try and teach you Common. She's actually going to go back to the rest of her family, because she was a bit of a wild child who just wanted to speak in Grawlix, so they did have to do some work to make her learn Common. And so she's going to help you learn that. So, hey! Also, you are going to get these shoes back at some stage.
Yeah, because
She doesn't want to go just yet.
They're a major part of her design, and also, Lin, you're going to hurt yourself.
It's fine! I'm going to do one more roll.
Oh no.
Hey! Nope, she's never taking them off. That's a 30-20. She's never letting them go.
You know what? I'm gonna say something. Like,
yes.
By the end of the night, Lethy's just like, you know what? You can keep that pair. And then she reaches into her hammer space and pulls out another pair of shoes.
Heck and heck! And there is the happy flicks. There is a pom-pom in high heels. And the happiest thing you've ever seen. Oh god, the others are gonna love this.
We gave Lin heels.
Yes, Lin is now 4'6".
Tall.
In her opinion, this is the height of tall. Oh, but I think while I break down your hysterics, we should say goodbye to our wonderful audience.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We hope you had a wonderful time. This was delightful. Everybody say goodbye to the listeners. Goodbye, listeners!
Goodbye, picnics!
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.